Masters in Augusta, Georgia right now may be a tradition like no other, but Texas has a few other traditions, and one of them is racing on a fantastic 1.5-mile quad oval. TRN's coverage here of the Virtual Velocity Racing Cup Car Series, brought to you from the Texas Motor Speedway here tonight. And these drivers have put on a fantastic series so far, as we are heading into race number 6 on the schedule. Actually, race number 7. I apologize. And we've had 6 different winners through the first 5 different winners through the first 6 races. I'll get this one way or another, but it's been a lot of the same names up at the front, but we've had some different winners, and we got some new guys kind of shuffling around. But Texas out here tonight is a track that a lot of people have some experience on. Even if they're not at Texas, you got some experience at Charlotte, which is very similar. You got some experience at Atlanta earlier on in the season here. So we'll see if the likes of Dalton Kilroe could go back to back here on the quad ovals, or if it's going to be 70-0. Kilroe is the only one that has gotten 2 wins here on the season. Can he make it 3, or is somebody else going to jump up and be winner number 6 out of 7? Carl Hamrick in the booth, joined by Jimmy Cover. Jimmy, I like Texas. It's a little funky when it comes to 1 and 2 sometimes, depending on what cars you're in, but I'm ready for some high-speed action here tonight.
Yeah, I really actually enjoy Texas. Matter of fact, it's one of the few tracks I actually even have a win at, especially even in a league race. It might have been a beginner league race, but it was definitely a league race with Core. So it's a unique track. It's fast. It's high paced. Multiple lines. It lays, like you said, you talked about Charlotte, but it's right down there in the lines with the like Vegas and a few others. So I'm really kind of surprised, though. They say they do it bigger in Texas. Why don't they have a super speedway that's like 3.5 miles long? But this one will have to do for tonight, and I look forward to watching these drivers put on a great show.
You don't want another short track there, Jimmy?
No. Absolutely not. I mean, they can have them all they want. I just won't find me out on that track.
Well, the last couple weeks have been getting closer and closer with the finishes. 2 weeks ago, Michael Pratt winning out there in Chicagoland by 0.14 seconds. Last week got even tighter with the finish out there in the desert and Phoenix, with Joseph Grijalva beating Joshua Divers by a mere 0.111 on the timing and scoring, and the top 4 covered by less than a second. So I'm hoping to see the same kind of action here tonight. We got a nice sized field out here. We got over 30 drivers ready to take the green flag. 120 laps are on the docket here tonight, so definitely going to be quite a few pit stops, and I'm sure we'll see some varying strategies, which I'm always a fan of. It's great to see the fastest guy win sometimes, but you're always rooting for that underdog. You're always rooting for that guy that throws in the flyer of a pit strategy and finds their way at the front at the end.
Yeah, I mean, with the variance of degree of, experience on the track from all these different drivers, it gives, somebody a chance that if they make a right decision, it can put them in that spot that they want to be in at the end of the race, and possibly even a win when you're not even really watching. And we're going to do our best to cover all these drivers. I believe last I counted there was 34, so quite a large field here for Velocity, Virtual Velocity Racing with these next gen cars, and it should be a good one. I just like I said, look forward to seeing who does what and how they do here tonight.
Well, the standings so far through the first 7 races on the schedule is going to see Dalton Kilroe at the top. As, of course, as soon as I bring it up, it goes away. But there we go. So standings are, Derek Paulson at the top over Dalton Kilroe by 11 points, only 10 more points back to Len McNeese. Joshua Divers in 4th, another 7 points back, and then another 2 points back to Gordon Larson. So top 5 right now covered by only 30 points in between the top 5. So a lot of shaking and shifting could be done here, but we've really seen quality driving by both Derek Paulson and Dalton Kilroe. Kilroe missing a race, as has Paulson, so only 5 races for both of them, but they find themselves at the top of the standings. And Paulson has been really lights out. I mean, he's only got an 11-point lead, but 5 races that he, 5 races that he showed up to, he's gone 5 for 5 in top 5s. So he's always at the front in the race that he shows up to. Kilroe, not a slouch either, as he's 4 for 4 with top 5s. But there's a lot of speed throughout this field, and a lot of different guys can find their way towards the front. We'll see who's got the speed here tonight. Looking at the qualifying times right now, Brian Dees, who is sitting 12th in the points right now, has got the top time, and these guys are done with qualifying. So, Jimmy, why don't you give us a rundown?
Your favorite part of the night. Here, qualifying results are as follows. We got Brian Dees out front tonight there in the number 17. Outside will be Eric Blount. And then third will be Ty Marasco. Fourth, Tim Williams. Fifth would be Derek Paulson. Sixth is Dalton Kilroe. Seventh, Joshua Divers. 8 is Ray Courtney. 9 is Mike Taylor. 10th is Joseph Grijalva. 11th is Todd Boston. 12th is Tim Lee. 13th is John Garrett. 14th, Chris Moreland. 15th, Glenn McNeese. 16th, Tyler Hilton. 17, Ryan Allen. 18, Todd Merkel. And obviously we need to fast forward this thing because we have a lot more drivers out there. 19th will be Craig Learman. 20th is Emmy Houdini. As I like to say, abracadabra. I mean, you're gonna have to school me in your last name, so when you get a chance, hit me up in chat. But Gordon Larson is in 21st.
Please don't. Just for our entertainment, please don't. Don't reach out.
Hilton Young, Douglas Johnson, Stephen Lauder, Mike Hasty, Russ Hancock, Mike Rideout, Kay Green, Robert Smith, Brandon Meir, Frank Hughes, Michael Pratt, Chris Schusler, Ray Radford, Michael Eden, and I think we have one, no, that would be our last driver. So 35 drivers, Carl. I think I'm doing pretty good with the names, except Houdini, or Abracadabra.
You're pretty good, unfortunately. But yeah, we got some different names. We got Brian Dees there at the front, Eric Blunt starting in second. So we'll see what these guys can do. I mean, we've seen Blunt at the front of the pack a few times. We've seen Brian Dees at the front of the pack a few times, but first time I believe both of these guys are going to be starting on the front row. Hopefully Eric Blunt gets the little blinking issues sorted out before we get this thing going. But some of your top guys in the points, obviously Derek Paulson and Dalton Kilroe starting right there in the middle of the top 10. But last week's winner, Joseph Grijalva, has started in the top 10 quite a few times, usually towards the back of the top 10, and finds his way towards the front. So we'll see if he can do it here and go back to back. But our fearless leader here behind the scenes, Tim Lee, starting back there in 12th, and I'll mention him now, but I'm sure he's going to quietly find his way up into the top 10. It just seems like a recurring theme here, but we'll see what that 24 has in store here tonight. But yeah, 35 drivers out here in the field. Looks like 33 are going to take the green flag. Not seeing Frank Hughes Jr. or Michael Eden out there. But again, 120 laps here. It's going to be a nice long race, and we're here in the heat of Texas. And it's going to get hot out here for sure, and it's going to be very fun to watch. I'm looking forward to it. Jimmy, it's time to go racing.
It's time to go racing. Nice and cool right now. Only 81 degrees. I know they talked about speeding up the time clock just a little bit. I don't know if it's going to be this race or the next, but they would like this race to run into the night, so Racing has the option to speed up the clocks. But we will see if that works here tonight, if we will be underneath the lights at the finish. But we are getting ready to drop the green flag as Brian Dees takes these drivers down the front stretch for green flag start.
Yeah, we got a delayed green here as we're going to take one more pace lap around here. Not sure what the case was, if there were some issues or if maybe they were waiting for the 8 or the 13 to join the field. But we will delay it for one lap here before we get going. Well, we got some time. I want to thank everybody for tuning in here to TRN as we are getting ever so closer to that 1,000 mark. So thank everybody that has shown up so far and shown out for CRN and hit that like and subscribe for us. But if you haven't done so yet and you're tuning in, hit that like and subscribe. Help us get to that that coveted number that we've been looking at for quite some time, and just getting ever so close to it. But also want to send a shout out and a thanks to the season sponsors here for Virtual Velocity Racing, that being Goldline Guardians, Fort Worth Screen Printing, and Hilton Crafts and Designs. Pace car lights are out once again. Hopefully no false start again this time. Hopefully we can get this thing fired off and get some green flag racing in here, as this is another track where it can, pose multiple grooves here, especially through 3 and 4. 1 and 2 is again a little bit finicky sometimes, depending on how the track session is set up. But we are, looks like, ready to go green this time. The flag is in Barney's hands, and we are racing in Texas Motor Speedway.
He's going to have a workout there as big as this field is, as they all get by finally heading down to the track. But good start so far. You can see the multiple lines already forming there as they go through 1 and 2 down the back stretch. They'll be heading down into turn number 3, still sorting things out back to the field.
A very large track here at Texas when it comes to how wide it is. I mean, you see the little dash lines painted on the track going through the quad oval. You could probably even fit 2 cars side by side in between those dash lines. So you can fit a lot of cars wide here if you really want to, if you really need to. These drivers are going to find themselves typically down towards the bottom in 1 and 2. 3 and 4 is kind of a crapshoot. You'll see a lot of different lines through 3 and 4, and you see even some of the leaders right now kind of running a bit of a midline. And we'll see them probably search around, try and find out where the grip is, where the car feels best, where the tires aren't going to wear off in 10 laps on them for sure, because this thing is going to be a few pit stops, but you're not going to be able to just take tires on every pit stop. You're going to have to be smart about it and have the right strategy at the end of the day. But already falling back is Eric Blunt. Not a good start for him. Already back into 9th place, so maybe he's just being very conservative on those tires in the 6 car. I don't see that he had any kind of incidents to start, but Brian Dees is your leader out front. Derek Paulson already up to 2nd place. Joshua Divers up to 3rd. Then you got Tim Williams, Mike Taylor, your top 5. Todd Poston, Dalton Kilrow, Joseph Grijalva, Ray Courtney, and Eric Blunt, your top 10.
It just could be one of these cases there. Derek, I just saw Derek showing last night, but call you. These drivers are out here, they're out here for a while, but it could be part of their strategy. Just kind of relax. Obviously, they don't want to get their car in any kind of trouble. There is no fast repairs here with Virtual Velocity Racing, and that adds a whole another dynamic of making sure you take care of your car. You don't want to get wrapped up in an incident and where you're going to have yourself a bad race. Especially on some of these drivers that are currently fighting for a up towards the front right now, working their way for a good championship run, and that's the last thing they need to do is be in the end of the night, because they'll lose out on a lot of points here today. But there is a lot of great racing throughout the field. I'll try to get as much coverage as possible. We talked about how close the CRN was to that 1,000 mark, just a mere 16 subscribers remaining. So like Carl said, if you have not subscribed, it doesn't cost anything.
Whoa! That was horrible net code. I mean, we don't even need a replay for that. I've seen that with my own eyes. That was absolutely terrible. I know, I think it was the 98 or the 99 was out there towards the outside wall, but I mean, there was a foot, maybe even 2 feet in that code. Yeah, the 98 on the outside. And wow. I mean, that's unbelievable. I don't think I've ever seen netcode that bad, Jimmy.
I haven't seen netcode like that in a very, very long time. But down goes the 10. As the 66 just squeaks by. Looks like the last car that's going to get caught. We see the O2 kind of trying to get it under control as he's probably under braking pressure there. Looks
He's working on his drifting skills down the backstretch.
Right, but it looks like everybody else is going to make it through scot-free. So hate to see it. I mean, obviously, I hate to see it, but not what the 10 was looking forward here tonight.
No, I mean that's absolutely horrible. I mean, it's one thing if you get clipped by a Netco where it's a foot or less, where there could have potentially been contact. That was nothing, nowhere near and I don't think there was any chance there was even going to be contact for that incident right there. So that's just. It's hard to talk bad about iRacing while you're broadcasting iRacing, but that's horrible. That's horrible.
It's just something that we don't like to see. It's not that we dislike iRacing. We just know that it is an issue, and it's the service.
About the servers?
The servers. Yeah, we can talk about the servers.
Yeah.
It's just the communication between, from location to location. It's numbers and a little bit of latency and some predicting, and I don't know where the math came for that one, but you could have drove another car in between that net code. It was pretty out to lunch, but unfortunately we will get going here again. We have a few people down pit road. Most of the leaders I think stayed in. I guess if you're in the back, it'd be a good time to top up for fuel. Excuse me. But yeah, it's just something you just don't want to see, and you really don't want it to happen to you, because Lewis Oklahoma was probably like, "What the heck was that?" And just next thing you know, he's staring at the wall. Just man, you just hate to see that.
I mean, I could even buy it a little bit, like if the 98 tagged the wall and kind of bounced off the wall a little bit, but he didn't. Like I thought that was initially the case, that maybe he came off the wall a little bit. No, I mean, he kept it off the wall from what I could see, and he kept it straight, but yeah, tough break for the 10 here. Your winner last week out at Phoenix. Going to be a long road back tonight, and he's certainly going to get some fast repairs. Not fast repairs, he's going to get some repairs done to that car just to be able to compete out here again. But we are going to be, looks like, taking another lap around the track here. Thought we were going to go green that time by, but we're going to have another pace lap going around here. So not sure if we got some issues here on the server here tonight, or maybe Tim or some of the other admins in here are just making sure we get everything set before we get back going, because it's been a little finicky here tonight, and clearly visibly finicky here tonight out here at Texas. But sun is starting to set. This track should get a little cooler, but I'm sure the action on the track is going to get hotter once these guys get back to green.
Talking about things are big in Texas, and I don't think they want net code to be a big
Apparently, literally everything is bigger, including the net code.
Even the net code. I mean, maybe they're expecting monster trucks racing here tonight or something.
Wow, that was unbelievable. But we keep it going here. It is going to be Brian Dees at the front. He is going to be your control car in the 17. Derek Paulson in second. Joshua Divers, Tim Williams, Dalton Kilroe, Todd Poston, Eric Blunt, Chris Moreland, Todd Markle, and Brandon Meir are going to be your top 10 here on the restart, as Brandon Meir in the 34. He's just up a mere 20 positions from the start. Now, granted, a lot of that is because the 19, 20, maybe 25 cars behind him right now came in to top off of fuel, but still, he is a hard charger right now.
Hey, progression's progression, Win's a win, progression's progression.
I'd take a top 10, sure.
Right? 10 laps there completed. We still have 110 laps remaining, and that's going to equate to some exciting racing, and hopefully the net code goblins come all out. They came out all at once, and they're gone for the rest of the evening. So we'll see how this rest of this race pans out here, as Derek Paulson, Brian Dees are front, and we'll get this thing here started here soon. So the lights are off on the pace cars. They work their way down the back, the backstretch. Gotta look at the map real quick to see where they're at. Well, I'm right on board with Brandon Meir, since he's our biggest mover. Not to put any broadcaster's curse on him or anything, but
there you go.
It's kind of interesting to watch a driver move up that quickly, and obviously, some people topping off on fuel and stuff. 10 laps can equate to something somewhere down the line, Carl.
Absolutely. I mean, it's, you gotta have some green flag laps now for that to pay off, so you can stretch it out. These guys coming in on lap number 7, and Grijalva coming in again, as did Michael Pratt to top off one more time on lap number 8. But yeah, it's, if you don't get green flag laps, you're probably going to come in again at the same time as everybody else. But we are going to get back going green, and Brian Dees on the loud pedal. We are racing again in Texas, as We had a good chunk of the field. I mean, probably 2/3 of the field come in and top off on fuel. So the running order certainly shifted up here quite a bit as we're riding on board with 11th place right now. Brandon Muir started back there in 30th position out of 33 cars that started the race here. It looks like Douglas Johnson and 3 having some issues as he is still in pit road. But we have 32 cars on the track right now, and it's all being led by Brian Dees.
Just good battle, side-by-side battling as the drivers are trying to give each other room. You know, they don't want to cause any incidents. They know they don't have any faster crews. So, you know, we talked about that, and I'm sure we'll hit on that often throughout the season. It's just, you know, most leagues they give one, at least one, and a lot of times it could be for what happened to Joseph Grijalva. So it's you know, it's nobody's fault. And no, I'm not a person, but
getting a little spicy right there.
31-57.
31 and 57. I do like how the paint scheme there in the 31 at top post and with the Toyota. Very, very clever. I like it. Well,
somebody was using my brain on that one, that's for sure.
Well, he was using the force going through turn 1 and 2 there, but unfortunately he's the one that falls back here a little bit. But battling all through the field, you see right here the 02 and the 24 of Tim Lee back here battling for 13th and 14th. And looking back in the field, Grijalva must have gotten enough repair that he can start making his way through the field. He started towards the back. I want to say probably close to 30th on the restart. Already up to 24th. So he's got a fast number 10 BKA machine out there tonight and making it work. Whether he's got all that stuff repaired or not, I know he's come into the pits a couple times. Hopefully he's got everything taped up and ready and good to go again. And hopefully he's got that thing under full power after the early incident. But he's already making his way through the field.
Abracadabra coming through.
3 wide down the backstretch, and Grijalva thought about going 3 wide into 3 and 4 as well, but yeah, the 71 and the 1 getting together a little bit. That being Tommy Gherardini, or Houdini as Jimmy likes to call him, in Prime Marasco. And Marasco got a new paint scheme on there tonight. Doesn't have the Squishmallows on that number 1, but getting very close there again as these boys are getting racy. It's for lap number 16, Jimmy. I think we need to let them know they got over 100 laps to go yet.
Yeah, this could be a case a couple drivers not used to racing around each other, you know, and whether they're going to break here at Texas. And not that they're braking very much. I think it's letting off for the most part to let that car rotate so you don't drive the right front tire up because you can. And the laps will only be about, I think when I was running around here, it was like 15, I think, before the car really started going away. Where it just started pushing like a dump truck to the wall, and everything changes from there. So you do have to take care of your tires. See the 1 there going to work. Time Marasco is going to work its way underneath 72. 72, I think.
32 is
Mike Aston.
There it is. Yep. This just hadn't changed on my overlay as well. But yeah, good battle right now. This is the battle for 20th as Grijalva now moving already up into the top 20. So good bounce back here early. Again, don't know what kind of speed he has, if he has enough to battle with those top contenders up there. But Brian D is currently holding a 0.37 second lead over Derek Paulson at the front. Tim Williams is back there. Just stalking Derek Paulson right now, only 0.17 seconds behind as the top 3 has separated themselves by about 1.5 seconds over the rest of the field.
We'll go back up there and visit, see how they're doing as teammates Brian Dees and Derek Paulson obviously got in 1 and 2, and then Tim Williams back there for Rev Esports, and then number 45 hanging right on the coattails there. So not let them run away, but run away with them. And this is a good move, I think, by these 3 drivers, you know, before they start battling. I mean, got 100 laps remaining. There's no sense of trying to get around the guy in front of you if you're running pretty much the same lap times. You can work together, even if you're not teammates, and work away from getting away from the rest of the field, and hopefully we stay green for extended amount of time and it pans out better for them. But little bit ways back there into the number 66 of John Garrett. We've seen that 66 Fort Worth machine have some pretty decent races throughout the races. Just waiting for him to make his stamp here at Virtual Velocity Racing, get himself in the top 3 or possibly a win.
Both these guys on a nice little green flag run since the early incident that you can't really blame on anybody. I mean, that wasn't even hard racing. It was just racing, just driving, and brought out the first caution. But a nice little green flag run here, and they have gotten racing, as we mentioned. They've certainly rubbed up on the fenders a little bit. It's good to see that these cars can take it. I mean, so many times we see just a little bump, a little rub, and sometimes even just getting a little bit too close to a car in a corner upsets the car so much that you loop it around and you bring out a caution. But these guys have been, rubbing is racing, and they've been rubbing up on each other a couple of times, and so far we keep this thing lean and green here as we start lap number 23. Now we are finally under 100 laps to go, so it's go time now, Jimmy, right?
Definitely go time. Well, that's so much why I never have any tires. But it's go time from when the green flag drops. So they'll lay him back from this number 14. But out here right now, these drivers are doing a good job. You can see K Green kind of sitting there in P16 right now, and I've seen him get a couple good runs on Ryan Allen right there from in the 87. But they're just kind of letting up and just not trying to wear his tires out. So there might be some tire strategy going on here with the number 19. We'll keep an eye on him.
Another issue with the 10 here. I've seen him dropping through the standings, and the 10 having some more issues here. We'll take a look back and see exactly what caused this one.
Yeah.
It was on the back stretches, I think is where it happened, or maybe coming out of turn number 2. As he was doing some battling with Michael Pratt and Ty Marasco, and Pratt just runs right up on the back of him and gets into him not once, but it looks like a little net code there on the second one, or maybe just a 10 trying to save it. And there's another kiss from the 77 on his way by. And a rough start to the race here for the 10. I mean, a pretty nice safe spin there. Shouldn't be too much damage on that 10 machine, and hopefully can get that thing repaired again. But yeah, a rough night for man. It started up there in 10th position. Winner last week is going to have to fight back through the field once again, but the entire field is coming in this time as pit road is very busy.
Yeah, very busy for everybody. You see it. Well, you guys can see I'm on the top here, but pit lane, and you can just see the cars from the front to the back just lining up to get out. If you can see Brian Dees making his way across the line first. John Garrett with a good move there.
Good thing for these guys that you can drive through other cars on pit lane and not have to actually wait for people, because with this field getting shuffled up and guys that started at the front are now at the back, they're coming in their pit stall when the other ones are leaving. It can get very hairy very quick. But it looks like for the most part everybody again just taking fuel. It's still early in the race. They don't want to spend those tires just yet. They only get 3 sets of tires to use here for the race. So only looks like a few cars, maybe 2 or 3 cars, electing to take tires on the pit stop here. But it's going to lead out to Brian Dees, Derek Paulson, Dalton Kilrow, your top 3. Tim Williams, Todd Poston, your top 5. And then Ray Courtney, Joshua Divers, Todd Merkel, Tyler Hilton, Tim Lee, your top 10.
Not sure what's going on with the 66. We did see it looked like he came out in third, but now falling back to the pack. So maybe a penalty there. Not quite sure what's up with the 66.
Yeah, maybe a pit road penalty is sending him towards the back, or an unsafe exit or something like that is forcing him to go all the way to the back. So he's going to have quite a lot of work to do as well. Joseph Brahava back out there in the field. Looks like he's going to restart in 26th position when we get this thing fired away. But couple of early cautions here from the boys. Again, we just got done saying they're rubbing up on each other here a little bit and getting a little spicy out here tonight. So we'll see if this keeps going on here. If they get a green here for a little bit, maybe Tim needs to drop the words of wisdom a little bit and tell him just calm down a little bit. We got plenty of racing here to go. Got a few more pit stops to get the
clearing up the end of the race. I think in a recent post I read for Virtual Velocity, and maybe they just moved it to the beginning instead, and then they're gonna have a clean end of the race, and they're just gonna get their shenanigans. And none of the shenanigans here really being anything major. A slight touch there, which sent the 10 around, and then obviously netcode. But
I was gonna say, don't say that to Grahava. It's 2 for 2.
Grahava is out there, and I'm sure he's like somebody's like personally like DDoSing his car or something. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe wrong spot, wrong time, 2 times in a row is. I mean, I'm sure he's not gonna like Texas too much after this one.
Well, the pace car lights are out one more time, so we're gonna get this thing fired off as we complete lap number 28. And hopefully these drivers out here can get some green flag laps in here, as we had a nice little run there for about 20 laps before we had the incident there with the 77 and the 10. But it looks like Grahava is going to restart back in 24th position on this restart here. We've got a lot of mixing up here early on in the race with some different strategies, but Brandon Meir is the guy that is still the man on the move, up 18 positions, 18 or 19 depending on it keeps shifting back and forth here, but starting up there just outside the top 10. Todd Merkel inside the top 10, he's up 11 spots. And the man in second place right now, your points leader, Derek Paulson, is up 4 spots from starting in 5th place, and more importantly, ahead of his teammates, Dalton Kilrow, at least for the time being. But those 3 are the top 3, along with Brian Dees, and Brian Dees is your control car for the restart here. And is this just, yeah, it's just towards the back of the pack. I thought we were going single file there for a second. And it looks like Brian Dees electing the outside here for the restart.
I haven't broadcasted a league where they did the choose route, but right now they just normally the only election of either inside or outside line usually lies on just the front row and the leader's choice, basically. So whether he wants the high side on both sides, but either way, 17 gets out to a nice start over the number 16 of Derek Paulson, followed closely by Tim Williams in that number 45 machine. Up there and under.
Yeah, and I think the idea, for the team was to have, the teammates there on the front row, but, give a chance for Dalton Kilrow to kind of sneak up there and be in 3rd place, but Tim Williams had other ideas, and he jumps around there on the outside and steals away 3rd place. So it's going to be 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Brian Dees, Derek Paulson, Tim Williams once again here for the restart, as still plenty of battling back towards the back of the pack, but up front here they are a lot closer than they were on the green flag run. So we'll see if they can stretch out that lead for these top 3 again, but nobody's stretching out back here. It is 2 by 2 by 2 for several positions.
Yeah, and you could go ahead and hop on the hood here of Gordon Larson. You could see them P3 wide back here in just in front of them there. So right around the 10th to 15th marks, drivers is still battling side by side, and you can see E4 of Len McNeese coming down just a little bit, and probably slowed down Larson's run there that he would have had coming off of turn 4, but Gordon just went ahead and lifted up just a little bit, allowed the 84 to come down, gave him just enough room for them to keep going here green, but they are 3 wide right in front as we are looking ahead here from P16.
Lap number 32 here, so again, plenty of driving yet to go as we complete lap number 32. But it's been a couple cautions here early on in the night, and I know we have a lot of running yet to do and a couple pit stops yet, but is it early enough that you start thinking of a different strategy? You start thinking that, well, maybe I don't need to necessarily save my tires as much. Maybe I need to start charging through the field and picking off some positions here and getting up towards the front a little bit quicker than I early anticipated.
I mean, I don't think I would change my mind too much, considering I'm not over the halfway mark yet. I think myself, I would wait till about the halfway mark to kind of see if things are going to keep going the way they are before I start using up those fresh tires that are down there and behind the wall. They have plenty here tonight. We're about working on almost a quarter of the way in a few more laps here, but yeah, these drivers are definitely they're racing. And some of them are racing pretty hard and taking them chances here a little bit early, but that's fine. It looks like the 66 making his way back up to the field.
I'm sure driving a lot angry after the penalty there, trying to work his way back up through the field, and doing a good job so far as he's up to 24th right now after starting towards the back of the field. Checking in with the 10 of Joseph Grijalva, moves himself now into the 19th spot, so inside the top 20 once again.
And that believe that penalty is just for speeding on pit lane, the one where you have to follow the longest line. If I'm not mistaken, that or either unsafe entry or unsafe exit or something like that. That's why I would believe.
I think it all depends on if you've got to your pit stall yet or not. With some of them, I know some of them make you serve that penalty right then and there when you're in your pit stall. But either way, it's not too damaging as the 66 is back out there on the track, and it looks like down to 30 cars right now as Douglas Johnson in the 3 comes back into pit lane, and Hilton Young, Ray Radford both have retired for the night. Frank Hughes and Michael Eden not taking the green flag here tonight, so we got 30 cars still out here on the track. Chris Ruschler all the way in the back of the pack, and not sure if he's had some issues back here, but he is really being ginger on those tires if he doesn't have any kind of issues, as he is falling off the back of the pack right now. That is all still for the most part together, except when you get to the 7th and 8th position, there's about a second gap in between them. But other than that, I mean, the entire pack's still nice and lumped together, and still some good racing out there.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at the intervals between everybody, and a lot of them are still red. Like I said, they were just talking about in that 7th place. We're kind of starting to break that almost a 1 second barrier. But a lot of drivers run really close, whether they're 2x2 or single file. Doing a great job keeping it green, keeping it clean here. Just I thought I seen something close. I have triple monitors, so I'm like watching a lot more than what I actually got, what I'm showing on the screen, and sometimes it tickles my eye. If something gets close, I try to get to it, so everybody out there can watch, but it's hard. It gets tough, especially with so many cars, but we love to see them out here having a great time. Right now, we're the 84 of Len McNeese, and Pete, number 23, is like a few spots, but that could be due to, the juggling that a few of the drivers have done for the pit stops here early on during the caution. But 40 laps complete, Carl. Eric Paulson out front with Brian Dees, Dalton Kilroy, Tim Williams, Ray Courtney for your top 5.
But then we got a few out there watching, obviously, and thank you for tuning in to CRN. But question for you, I mean, this is a beautiful track out here, and it's especially it's one that really kind of catches your eye here at night. I think it's a really nice track to drive at night. So I'll ask you, Jimmy, what are what's some tracks on the bucket list? I know we talked before. I've wanted to get to Dover for quite some time just to see a race there in person, because it seems like it's a nice NASCAR track and it's close to me. But what are some of the tracks that are on your bucket list, whether they're NASCAR tracks or road courses?
Ooh, big question, and not something I really thought about too much. I mean, I live down in Florida now, so I think it would only be right for me to visit Daytona and Talladega, because that's just north of me. So, I mean, those would be 2 on the bucket list, and I don't think are out of the realm of spending a weekend and enjoying myself at those tracks. I mean, I have been to Dover, probably one of the best tracks I've ever been to. I don't think there's a bad seat in the house, no matter where you go. because of the banking, and it's like a big soup bowl. But I mean, if you live near Dover and you haven't been to Dover and you're a race fan, you need to go. I know where you're at, Carl. It's probably an hour and a half drive, maybe 2 hours tops, and you would enjoy yourself thoroughly. Trust me.
Yeah, I might be able to look into some tickets here coming up here for Dover, so maybe able to get it checked out for free, which is even better. I mean, it makes the track so much nicer when it's free, doesn't it?
It does.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of tracks. I mean, there's so many, and it depends on what series you really want to talk about. As far as where you want to go on your bucket list. I mean, if I look at F1, I wouldn't mind going to Dakota out here in Texas and seeing an F1 race out there. But I've always thought about and liked Monaco. For the racing, absolutely not. The racing is horrible. It is the worst race on the schedule, and I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for that for the true F1 fans out there. But they know deep down inside it, the racing is horrible. There's zero passing there at all, but I'd still like to go just for the atmosphere, the ambiance, and just to be around people that are worth, I don't know, 75 times what I'm worth, maybe even more. So it'd be fun to bump elbows a little bit, but yeah, I mean, I can even throw out some dirt tracks. I'd love to get out to Eldora or to Knoxville at some point. There's so many great tracks out there. I mean, it's hard to narrow down the list, but I mean, put it out there to everyone out there in chat. What are some tracks that you've always liked watching on TV, or have you always thought about visiting? Put them in the chat, and we'll see what you guys come up with out there. But we are on lap 47 as these guys have been slowly ticking away the laps here. A nice little green flag run battle right here between Len McNeese and there's a train of thought here. Yeah, Garrett on the outside here as they're both trying to work their way back up through the field. And Len McNeese has been one he's kind of been sneaky fast all season. I mean, I know you've kind of kept your eye on him, Jimmy, just because of the old Darrell Waltrip paint scheme with the Western Auto there. But, I mean, I feel like he's been doing decent all season. Like, it just never seems like it's that great, but very decent season. He's third in the points. I mean, so he's quietly just keep himself right up there. You don't see him up there. Like your Dalton Kilrose and your Derek Paulsons. Lap after lap battling for the lead, but finds himself in a great position at the end of the race, and that's all you need to do. And that's really what can get you in a chance for the championship. You don't need to win every race. We've seen some guys do it over in Core, not winning a race and winning a championship. So you have to be smart. You have to be consistent, and like one of our fellow competitors over there in Core says, you got to maximize on those bad nights. I mean, you can have a bad night here or there, but your bad night needs to be a 12th instead of a 22nd.
Yeah. Especially with the larger fields, there's so much movement that can happen. Like Derek Paulson and Brian Dees out front right now. They're working away around the track. And if we continue to go get some green flag stops, we can enter into some lap traffic. And if they don't handle the lap traffic correctly, or somebody with a little bit less experience is with their rear mirror, I mean, you could end up causing an accident, and they can get wrapped up in that. And then next thing you know, they're up on first, and then they finish in 32nd or 35th or whatever it may be. The cars that are still remaining. So yeah, a lot can change, especially with a big field, and you're out there trying to do your best to get yourself a good finish. And this track here, it is inviting for all drivers to drive extremely fast. It is very wide, especially on new tires. You can pretty much drive the car wherever you want. But you do have to be a little careful after your tires to warm up, so you don't lose the rear end. But this is one of my favorite tracks here. So I enjoy running around here, and like I said, it is inviting to run very fast.
Top three are running very fast right now, starting to run away from everybody else, as top three being Derek Paulson, your leader, Brian Dees in second, Dalton Kilroe in third. Tim Williams has dropped back there in 7th place, as Ty Marasco is now in 4th. Ray Courtney moves himself up into 5th position. Joshua Divers in 6th. As you mentioned, Tim Williams in 7th, and you got Todd Poston, Todd Merkel, and Ryan Allen rounding out your top 10. But again, we're on a nice little green flag run here. Could be seeing some pit stops coming up on the horizon pretty soon, and we're also coming up on halfway pretty soon.
Yeah, it won't be long. That halfway mark will be here and gone. As these drivers continue to put on a great show. Here's 6 those, we already said, the Joshua Divers. Put on a pretty quiet run here at the moment. Instant MP number 6. Plenty of racing to go, and like I said, hopefully everybody's practice those pit stops, especially under green. It can be challenging, definitely, especially when a lot of drivers decide to come in at once. Like you said, Carl, it's kind of a good thing that you can kind of drive through each other in the cars, and that only applies to if they're actually driving through the pit stalls. If you're out in the other 2 lanes, you can actually cause an accident down there in the pit lane. I've seen it in a few races, and as bad as it is, it does get a little comical because it shouldn't happen. But a lot of people are trying to get everything they can to get the fastest entry, get their car slowed down at the very last second to maximize time in pit lane, because we know that better time in pit lane can equal a lot of time on the track.
Today is April 11th, and exactly 1 month from now, on May 11th, is going to be a special event that Sierra put on last season. It's going to be the 2nd annual Coca-Cola 300, and it's going to be broadcast green flag to checkered flag here on CRN, and it is the 87, the old school NASCARs at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. So another quad over there for everyone that loves it out there, and it's going to be a fun event, I know for sure. And we had a good turnout last season, already looking like it's going to be a good turnout this season. If you know anybody that's looking to get into a really good and a nice little paying event there as well, certainly shoot them our way. But stay tuned here on CRN for the great race that is the Coca-Cola 300, as it's the half distance compared to the 600 race out there. And it's gonna be a good one. I'm gonna have to be watching from the sidelines, as I'm not gonna be in attendance for that one, and I won't be able to join the booth. But I'll certainly be watching that race, and hopefully everybody else out there in the CRN community is tuning into that one as well. But we are 2 laps away from the halfway point here at Texas. Did see a couple guys dropping off into the pits, so possibly the start of the pit cycle coming into play again, as Robert Smith in the pits. Craig Lemon was in the pits as well. We'll see if we got any more takers this time by. I mean, you look at the track map, and Jimmy, we got the Skittles all over the place.
Yeah, taste the rainbow. I mean, they're just going everywhere right now, and you can see some wheels pull down on the pits. Go ahead.
So Todd Merkel coming in the pits this time into
gives up the little timing tower, so you can see who's coming down the pits right now, who's down in there. So when they came in, Todd Merkel just coming in. Actually, I need to piece the numbers. I don't know that tells me. We got up to 30.
I don't think you're going to get 35 on the boards. But we get 30 for sure. Yeah. But take a look at the 10, sneaking his way up there, up to the top 10, and well, just outside the top 10, as we got some guys bumping and banging coming into pit lane. But Grijalva had himself all the way up just outside the top 10 before he came into the pits right now. And as it stands, the top 12 drivers have yet to come in, but from there on down, we've got a bunch of people in pit lane. So the pit cycle is starting. Here comes Brian Dees from the lead. He's going to come down into pit lane as Derek Paulson came in the lap before. Bolton Kilrow, Ray Courtney going to come in, as well as Gordon Larson. Len McNeese is going to stay out. So the 84 Silent Killer is going to be out there and lead a lap here tonight and help his championship standings one more time, as he last pit on lap number 25 with a lot of these drivers, but he wants to run one more lap, get a lap led. We'll see, maybe even run some more laps. But everybody has come into the pits except for this man right here, the 84 Len McNeese, and you already see him slowing down. Looks like he's going to make that left-hand turn into pit lane, and this will complete the pit cycle. A few guys having some quicker pit stops than others, and I'm looking at Ty Marasco having an 11-second pit stop. Not sure if that's using up tires or not, but a lot of the guys taking the 4 tires are 14-second pit stops, so maybe electing for only 2 tires for the number 1 team, but it's gotten them to the front.
You got a really fast entry. You can see this pit lane time is down at 38.5, where everybody's is right around the 42 and a half to up there, almost to 44. You have Joshua Divers with the 48.6. That's a lot of time on the track. So when it comes down to it.
In pit lane that he didn't take those 4 tires. His pit stop, his pit time was only 11 seconds when everybody else is in the 14s and 15s. So certainly gaining a nice little chunk of time there and gaining several positions as he's moved himself up to the point. And yet another guy on the MFRD team at the front. This time it's Time Rask. We've seen him have his time at the front. We've seen him up there towards the front in just about every one of these races, but one thing or another tends to happen and he ends up falling back. So hopefully he's got the ship righted this time, and we can see that number 1 take this thing all the way to the end, and we'll actually get to talk to him after the race. We've got a lot to go yet, as we've got 58 laps remaining here in this race.
Todd Merkel being another one of them drivers kind of moving up quietly to the field at the moment. That I know how he's moving quietly. He's got a loud color on that machine, that bright yellow number 2 with the 1320 Racing Enterprises. But definitely working his way up into that P or 4 spot, nice and quietly. But yeah, there was some major difference in those MFRD teammates where they how they ended pits. So Marasco definitely had that one down in the books, putting him out front. But back to the field, see who else can we check on. Michael Pratt. We've seen him. He likes to come from the back, and he's doing it yet again here tonight. Up 15 spots, sitting in 16th currently, with that number 77.
I'm seeing 2 things that happened on that pit stop. One, Joseph Grauva now up inside the top 10, up in the 9th place. So he is right in the ship, and hopefully he can keep that thing pointed the right direction for the rest of this race, as he's got a lot of mirror full of Joshua Divers, the man that was trying to best him last week and just couldn't do it. But the other one is back in 25th position. Brian Dees running 2nd place when the pit cycle started. Clearly pit penalty coming into play, and that has dropped him way back in the field here, about 3/4 of the track behind your leader, which equates to a good 48 second. Actually, yeah, he is a lap down. I was going to say 48 seconds more than a lap. So 3 wide there for your leader as he dives through the middle. And this is the things that Time Rask gets into that ends up putting him towards the back. He made it through this situation here. So good on him for that, but he's trying to do his best to stay as far out in front of Derek Paulson as possible. Even though they are teammates, he definitely wants to get the best of them.
Yeah, and he knew, obviously now he's around those lap cars, so hopefully he'll be able to continue with the interval that he had in front of his teammate. I don't think they're really too worried about it at this point about unless he's Paulson is that much faster than Marasco or him getting by. Only teammates when they come up on each other, they're pretty easy, and they'll talk in their team chat and they'll be like, "Hey man, you're faster than I am. Just go around, or I'll move out of the way for a hot half or a hot quarter second when the pass is made." And at the time, AC right there in front of him. It's the wall. Nasty there by the 72.
Yeah, still having some trouble wrangling that car in here, as the 72 is back in 28th position right now, and battling to try and kind of hang on to that thing as it's been stepping out on him little by little, as I think even the front end looks a little banged in. But the 16 of Derek Paulson going to work his way around him and try and set his sights on his teammate, the one at Time Marasco. But Marasco stretching out here a little bit, 1.2 second lead over Paulson, who's got a 3 second lead over Kilroe, and then another 6.5 seconds back to Tim Williams, and that is a good chunk when it comes to oval racing, no matter where you go. That is a big gap for your top 3. Back to Tim Williams in the 4th place, Todd Merkel, Todd Poston, Ryan Allen, Joshua Divers, Gordon Larson, and Joseph Grijalva, your top 10.
21 drivers in the lead lap. Actually, we got here 20. We got 20 drivers in the lead lap, leaving Mike right out. And there in the number the 76. I mean, the guy next to the chocolate blocks from that leader, Ty Marasco in the one, and he's not that far behind.
Yeah, these drivers really kind of stretching out here tonight. It's surprising, man. This is a track that, again, a lot of people should have some kind of knowledge on and should all be pretty decent on here. But it's really been, the top three at the front right now: Marasco, Paulson, and Kilroe really stretching out the lead. It was Dees before he had his pit road issues, and now he finds himself back in 24th, a lap down. So I guess they just swapped out and swapped in another MFRD teammate up to the front. But we've got a yellow, so those gaps between everybody are going to come down to nothing. And we'll take a look and see what the issue was. I'm not seeing anything on my looks at the 99. There we go now. I'm just seeing it over there on the Skittles map. As Ray Courtney having some issues, so we'll bring up and see what exactly happened to the 99. But we are under caution here. And again, maybe involving... Oh, that was a little... I don't know. I mean, certainly cutting across the nose of the 77 there was the 99, but the 77 maybe trying to pinch that 99 up a little bit higher going up through the corner. Excuse me, but he's going to spin, and looks like he keeps it off of everything, so maybe a clean little spin here as he locks it up, but it's going to bring us under another caution here, and I don't think these guys are in the window to make it all the way to the end quite yet. But it'll get very interesting to see who decides to come down pit road.
Yeah, so just another look here for, overhead of the 77 and Ray Courtney. Ray Courtney just started to make his move down, and the 77 still didn't make his turn down through turn 3 there. So he ends up getting spun out and got to take a little ride. But like you said, kept off the wall. Should be no big deal, but a lot of heat in them tires, Carl. And good thing iRacing hasn't implemented flat spots, because you imagine riding around with some four flat spotted tires around a fast track like this.
There'll be a lot of thump every time you're going around there. Well, we've got a ton of drivers electing to go down that pit road, but several staying out, as looks like the top. Losing at the top 4 deciding to stay out. Quite a few behind them coming in and topping off. I don't think there's a chance that these guys can stretch it out that far on fuel. So we're probably going to either way see all these drivers come down at least one more time. But Todd Merkel now going to cycle up to the front. So up from 18th position is Todd Merkel in first place right now. Gordon Larson up 19 spots from position 21. And it gets better. Cade Green up started 28th and is up 25 spots in third. And then Mike Rideout in fourth right now, started back there in 19th. So I know these guys stayed out, and nobody behind them has fresh tires. It's not like they came in and they're going to be that much faster.
No,
so
I think
I
think their call here coming in and taking fuel was a smart one. A little less than 50 laps. Less than 50 laps, and these drivers, they went right about 25, 26 laps. So it means those drivers that came in only have to pit one more time if they went green. So it is kind of a smart call by a lot of those drivers. Ty Marasco, Paulson, Williams, obviously. Yes, some of those drivers, and they've been around, and if you start thinking about it, maybe if you're in front of them, you're like, man, I probably should have went in. It's one of those calls that once you pass pit road, you're like, oh, I'll get a couple positions, they're going in, or we'll have another caution. But hopefully, if they go green, Merkel, Larson, Green, and Rideout, I think, are going to be in a little bit of trouble. They might be short. I might need to actually come in more than one more time. But for those, like anybody that came in here at 74, 75, you look for them drivers who start creeping their way up to the top as long as they're on the lead lap. That's going to come into a factor here too, because we got like 20 drivers on the lead.
Well, here's where I'll combat your theory, Jimmy. As if all these drivers only have to make one more pit stop, obviously if the top four have to make two, then yeah, their bet is made and it's gonna be tough for them. But if everybody needs to come in one more time, if you're the guys that just came in for fuel, you can have a shorter pit stop and just take fuel only and top off. But you're gonna want tires. You've had these tires on; they're gonna be on from lap number, around 58, 59. From when you took those tires, and are you planning on running them for half a race, or are you going to be taking tires? I'm sure these guys at the front are going to be in there long enough in the pits with that fuel that they're going to want to take tires, obviously. And if you're in there long enough to take fuel or long enough to take tires, what's the difference if you're filling up the tank or if you're just taking 3 gallons to finish out to the end? So I wouldn't necessarily count out these front four just yet.
Well, I don't know what, like I said, I don't know what those, I didn't watch the cars in the pits, but with them, maybe just top it off on fuel. And those other drivers, yes, they're going to have to stop and take, they're going to have to come in the pits twice, where the other drivers are going to have to come in once. If you have to fill up the whole way, because it's pretty much where the fuel's going to be about empty when they come in, they're going to have enough time to change the tires anyways. It really won't matter too much, because pit stops are around 14 and a half seconds for full tires. I still don't think you're going to be able to make up the time that it takes to drive down pit road.
No, I'm saying I think they can make it on one more stop with these guys at the front. I don't think the guys that came in and topped off can make it all the way to the end from 74 to the end. I think the guys that been on lap 60.
Yeah. I'm saying the drivers that came in at lap 60, they'll be in around laps 85 or 90 and still have to. They might be short. They might be. They might have to get a splash and go.
Two more laps, then it's going to be tough. But Todd Markle on the lap pedal. We are back racing here at Texas, and we'll see again whose strategy pays off as they're diving all around the place. With 3 wide there for a second towards the back of the top 10. And I mean, with the way these guys are racing here tonight, I don't think that's the last caution we've seen either. So I'm certainly going to mix everything up here tonight. But the 57 there on the outside, that is Joshua Divers making a pass on Tim Williams, or at least trying to, right behind the 76 of Mike Rideout. These guys at the back half of the top 10, right behind him there, Joseph Grijalva in the 10, getting in on the mix. In front of them, you got the 16 of Derek Paulson and Todd Poston in the 31 doing battle, as Paulson finally going to make that pass. But out front, Todd Merkel, Cade Green holding it down in 1 and 2 with Ty Marasco right there in third.
And Ty Marasco wanting to get back to the front, obviously, giving up to get some fuel or whatever it may be, but all over the back bumper of that 18 is going to move to the low side, try to go to the inside on turn 1 on that 2 of Todd Merkel. Todd Merkel has the run on a little bit higher side, and you can see that how much of a run they get on that high side there, Carl. So
fantastic run there from the 19. And Cade Green says, "You thought you had second? I don't think so. I'm going to go ahead and take that back." But Carrasco now going to fight back on the inside. Seems like that inside in 3 and 4 is a little bit better than the outside, but certainly not over yet. As the 19 going to fight back, it looks like the 1 going to peek to the inside of the 2 into 1 and 2, and we'll see who prevails this time by. But that 19 seems like it's a really good run, and now it's going to go to the outside of Merkel. The 41 of Kilrow thought about going 3 wide there, backs out right now. But Marasco back up to the point in first. That 19 of Cade Green working the outside line there. Trying to get around the 2. But while these guys are battling, Ty Marasco says, "Thank you very much," and I'll just go ahead and check out.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're out in front of a few cars battling, you kind of like to see it. It does slow down their runs for the most part. And they're back there using up their tires. So kind of a win-win for yourself. This is 41 looking to make it 3 wide. Takes better of it, backs up. Tries to go to the high side as the 2 and the 19 are battling. They get this great run here by the 19 down to 1 and 2. 19 has 1 and 2 figured out pretty well. Struggling through 3 and 4 a little bit.
He finally clears and gets into second place, but now he's got his mirror full of the 41 of Dalton Kilrow. Behind them is Derek Paulson making his way up into the top 4 as well. So the MFRD team moving to the front once again. Bob Merkel back in 5th, Gordon Larson in 6th. Tim Williams back up to 7th place. Todd Poston is doing better right now with the 10 of Joseph Grijalva as they battle for 8th and 9th position. And then Tyler Hilton making up your top 10 right now. But as these guys are back to another green flag run here and certainly racing hard, and I guess before any kind of other incidents, I think it's about time to crank these boys up and give everyone out there in CRN land a little love to hear it.
A little bit of love to hear it. Wait, no, hate to see it. on maintenance guys left the strip there just so somebody decided to make sure it was freshly cut. And we almost had a hate to see it happen while we were watching or love to hear it. But up front, who's to tail the MFRD drivers? Dalton Kilrow, Derek Paulson, Ty Marasco. So, you know, will this next pit stop make or break these drivers? And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they did come in. I'll put the arrow clock. I think sometime tonight. I am just see the pit lap time, or pit lap, yeah. So they all came out lap 34. They will have to make one more pit stop, which should be coming up here shortly. As we're closing in on the 100 lap mark. There's only 24 laps to go.
Yeah, the question is going to be, can the drivers that pit a little bit early here that stayed out that last time, like your Michael Pratts, your Cade Greens, pitting on lap number 94, can they make it to the end? Tom Merkel having to come in on lap number 92, certainly going to have to stretch it out there on the 2 team. But he kind of needs to make it on one more pit stop to be able to make this work at all. But it is all the MFRD team again, as it is Dalton Kilrow at the front, Derek Paulson, Ty Marasco, your top 3, but Joshua Divers trying to do his best to get himself back up there. You see right behind him, Ryan Dees not in the mix here after the pit road penalty, as he is actually, which I say corrected, he's back up there on the lead lap in 7th place. I don't know how I missed him up there, but he is doing battle, and he's still maybe got a chance at this thing, fighting back here after having the lap down. But it's going to be tough. I mean, Kilrow, Paulson, and Marasco have certainly had fast machines at the front, and unless we get another caution in this thing, as we've got 21 laps to go, it's going to be tough to catch those 3 drivers at the front. But all it takes is one more mistake on pit road, and maybe they all come down together and all have a mistake together. So anything can happen yet. I want to thank, once again, our sponsors here for the series, Goldline Guardians, Hilton Crafts and Designs, and Fort Worth Screen Printing for everything they do here for the boys and girls over here at Virtual Velocity Racing. And thank Tim Lee for putting this thing on, as it's having a little bit rougher of a race, and maybe a top 10 isn't in the cards here tonight. The pit cycle is not done yet, but Tim Lee currently sitting back there in 18th.
And 20 laps to go, you should see some drivers come down. There's only 4 drivers, 3 or 5 drivers on the lead lap right now, Carl. And so that's because of those Kilrow, Paulson, Marasco being able to stay out there. You see Ty Marasco coming in. Divers is getting ready to exit.
Chris Moreland getting into the wall there on the backstretch. Yeah, it looks like Tyler Hilton in the pits, Ty Marasco in the pits. So 2 of the drivers that still had to come down pit road are in. We still need Dalton Kilrow, Derek Paulson, and Ryan Dees to make their final pit stops. And we'll see if it comes by this time. But you take a look back there in 12th, Tim Williams running the fastest lap of the race. So certainly got that loud pedal pushed to the floor in 12th position, trying to make up some ground and see if he can get himself a top 10 before this thing is over, as Marasco now in the pits, Tyler Hilton in the pits. But still, the top 2 that are going to shake out here are Dalton Kilrow and Ryan Dees are out there and plugging away at the laps here and getting a little bit closer before they come down pit road. And now we'll see the 41 of Kilrow coming into the pits, giving up, well, maybe not even giving up the lead, as everybody else has come into the pits. Looks like Ryan Dees yet to come in. He's going to go around again. Now he is officially back on the lead lap. Not sure what was going on with the timing and scoring, but he is back on the lead lap currently, but he needs to make a pit stop before this thing is over, and I'm sure he'll be coming in probably this time by. And that will completely cycle us through the pit stops, but we see a couple of guys taking just fuel. So very interesting. He's certainly shaking up the order, as the man that is going to be out front is Michael Pratt. Once this thing shakes out, at the time being, he's got Derek Paulson right behind him. But Michael Pratt electing not to take any tires on that last pit stop, and it's got him out in the lead with 17 to go. May not be able to hold on to the lead and get the win, but could certainly get himself a good finishing position.
He's actually behind on number 17 of Brian Dees. This Brian is out.
Yeah, Brian still has to pit
Yeah.
though. Yep. We'll see if Pratt can stretch it out again. He pit on lap number 94, so he's got to stretch it out for 26 laps to get to the end. It looks like to the inside goes Derek Paulson and will take back over the lead. But maybe Michael Pratt just wants to get in there and get a little drafting in, get some fuel saving in to make this thing to the end. Cade Green is going to cycle out in third. Joshua Divers in fourth. Ty Marasco dropping all the way back to 8th position. And Dalton Kilroe, another one of the MFRD team, pit road penalty.
Oh, no.
Pretty much takes him out of this running, back at 25th right now.
Van meter here, 87. Ryan Allen. So yeah, Ryan Allen currently in P number 12, doing a pretty good job, up 5 spots from the start. Where Ryan has fallen so far, with only 14 laps remaining. And like we said, Derek Paulson's on top of Brian Dees, Michael Pratt, Cade Green, Joshua Divers, Ty Marasco, Todd Boston, Gordon Larson, Tim Williams, Todd Merkel, and Joseph Berhalva has made it back up to Pete number 11. Ryan Allen in 12th, Craig Lehrman in 13th, Tim Lees in 14th, Brandon Beer in 15th, Eric Bronson 16th, Mike Rideout in 17th, Tyler Hilton 18th, Chris Warling in 19th, Stephen Louder there in 20th. So still 20 cars, or actually 21 cars in the lap right now.
Derek Paulson is the one out front. Brian Dees in second and still has yet to come into the pits. So I'm not sure if maybe SDK missed his pit stop or if he's actually still running that thing. No, there it is. Maybe I'm just going to talk about it one more time. Beetlejuice, you got to say it 3 times before it actually comes true. But he's now in the pits and going to fall down the order. So it is going to bring Cade Green up into second place and not too far behind Derek Paulson. And it looks like Derek Paulson maybe only elected to get right side tires under that pit stop. Cade Green getting a fresh 4. So this thing could be on to the end, but Cade Green has got to make the same thing happen. He's got to run that thing out from lap 94 all the way to the end. So can he push, or is he in fuel save mode right now just to make this thing to the end in the top 3?
I would have to say he's on the... It's close call. If he came in at lap 94...
94.
He came in lap 94. If you go about 25 laps, I mean, he could probably stretch it to 26. So, without pushing too hard, but he's just going to have to put a little bit of throttle behind that pedal if he plans on getting a podium. Joshua Divers and Ty Marasco are not too far behind.
And Joshua Divers catching up. He is on no fresh tires there, as he just took fuel only, but the man right behind him, Ty Marasco, has got a fresh set of 4 on that car, and he is trying to drive his way back to the front. 10 laps to go. It's going to be 9 now at the line for the boys here at VVR, Virtual Velocity Racing. And this thing is coming down to the end. Derek Paulson's got a nice little lead over the rest of the field right now by 2 seconds. But again, now that Joshua Divers and Ty Marasco got around Cade Green, do they have enough to try and run him down as Marasco goes to the inside of Divers? He's got the fresh tires, trying to put him to use. Not going to get the pass done just yet. 8 to go.
Still actually a decent amount of time left. I know 8 laps is pretty much nothing as they're slinging around here in under 30 seconds, but still a decent laps, but just gotta make it clean, and they do have traffic that they're contending with.
Well, that traffic getting into the wall there right in front of them. But still a great battle here, and Divers, again, your second place finisher last week. Probably wouldn't mind finishing second, but eventually second places get old. But he's trying to just hang on to second place right now over Ty Marasco. Cade Green, Tim Williams making up your top 5. Tim Lee, you're looking at the back end of Tim Lee there from Tyler Hilton's cars. They're doing battle here back here for 13th and 14th. So Tim would have to do some work here to sneak himself into the top 10. He's not sneaky anymore. I'm on to his tricks. And looks like he's going to hold on to 13th for the time being. But the laps are ticking by mighty quick here as these guys are running lap times under 30 seconds. So, 2 laps a minute here. And this thing is going to be over. 6 laps to go. Derek Paulson still enjoying a 2-second lead over Joshua Divers, who's holding off Ty Marasco. Cade Green, can he stretch it to the end? Hitting on lap number 94, Tim Williams is now in 5th place. Keeping on lap 95, so he's got 1 more lap of fuel. Battle for 2nd place, 5 to go at the line. Marasco to the outside of Divers. And it seems like that outside line in 1 and 2 is pretty nice. It gets a little worse in 3 and 4, but they make a little contact through the corner. The 57 not just going to go away quietly.
He's just kind of a little bit loose down there at the bottom, trying to be a pinch down. So when somebody's up there on the outside, it does make you not get on the throttle as quick, so your car doesn't wash out. Or you just basically end up losing too much grip in the front tires, and you heat them up and they don't stick and turn anymore. But he's going to lose that P number 2 to the 1 of Ty Marasco as Joshua Divers now moves into P number 3. They still have a little bit of ways to catch up to Derek Paulson. Like he's starting to run away. Got a nice little this would be just now as he's down the finish line and the other drivers are pulling out for it.
Very interesting. Hearing him shifting too. Maybe I missed it before, but actually shifting here at Texas with these cars is Derek Paulson. I'm sure it's clearly working out. I can't knock it for sure, as he is now out to a 3.3 second lead, looking to grab a 2nd win on the season and join his teammate Dalton Kilroe, as both of them would have 2 wins on the season, and this is certainly going to help the points out as well, coming in with an 11-point lead over Kilroe. Kilroe having his pit road issues way back in the field right now, and Paulson at the point. This is not what the rest of the field wanted to see for sure when it comes to the points championship, but Paulson is 1 lap away this time by to claiming another victory.
Yeah, just a good run there by the number 16, being able to nail down his pit stops and work through those cautions to find himself up there. But right now, as we're on the final lap, the battle is here with P number 2, Joshua Divers and Ty Marasco. But it looks like the Divers are going to be able to pull away just a little bit, as they were a lot closer there the previous lap.
Yeah, how about Divers making the pass back at Marasco? Marasco had the fresh tires and thought once he got by he was going to check out, but now it is Divers going to grab 2nd. But your winner here tonight at Texas is going to be the 16 of Derek Paulson. Joshua Divers in 2nd, Ty Marasco going to bring it home in 3rd. Battle in the back here. What a comeback. About 37 times here for the 10, and he is going to grab a 6th place here for Joseph Grijalva. But this was certainly an up-and-down race, and we thought that the pit stops and the pit strategy was going to come into play. Potentially, we had 2 different winners having a chance here, get pit road penalties, and that ended up being the story here tonight. So very interesting, but a nice little green flag run to finish this thing out for the boys here, VVR, and ended up being a good race as the 16 of Paulson going to burn it down through the infield.
A little mud on that white paint there. Drivers like to celebrate as much as possible. It's not like in real life and you do all that burn and the possibility of smashing up your car or blowing an engine. I'm sure I know they're celebrating, but there has to be somewhere down the line, like maybe the crew chief or something, that be like, yo, enough.
On our 2nd place finisher, Joshua Divers, and then we will switch over and get to interviews, and it looks like they are all lined up now, as Paulson's still using up every little bit of tires that he has here for his 2nd victory here tonight under the lights at Texas Motor Speedway. Another good win here for the 16 team. But we'll go ahead and switch over and start our interviews. Give Jimmy a second to catch back up here, and then we'll start with one of Ty Marasco. And we will bring him in now. So the third place here tonight, Ty Marasco. And Ty, we've seen you up at the front quite a few times this season, and it just seems like one thing or another, something happens, and you end up falling back towards the pack. But tonight, not the case. You had a fast number one machine there. It took a little bit of pit strategy to get you fully towards the front, but you're doing some good battling there at the end of the race with Joshua Divers. You make the pass. You had the tires on him, but you weren't able to hold on to second place. How do you feel like your race went tonight? Are you happy with the third?
Race really good. Yeah, the season's been not one to talk about too much. Had an issue last week, and it prompted a penalty to start. I had a UL to start tonight, so we started in the back. Honestly, really fast. Number one Ford Mustang, MFRD Ford Mustang. It was lightning fast. Got us to the front, got us to fourth, and then on the pit stop, I accidentally, it wasn't in the cards. Accidentally took two tires, got up front, so it felt really good. I'd like to say you're welcome to Derek, because Derek took two tires at the end, and he's like, yeah, after I saw you do it, it was no chance he's taking four. And I was like, yeah, because it felt pretty good with two. And then at the end, I really wanted second. I really did. I guess I had to use a lot of tire to pass a lot of guys to get up there. And then I overran the corner with about two to go, and that really put me behind. And once he cleared me, I wasn't able to get back to him. The lap car was the reason why I got to him. And then, but hey, we'll take third. Not a great season, like I said, so far, but this could be a turnaround point for us in the number one camp.
Well, certainly is not a bad finish. You're finishing the top three, but you had a good little stint at the front there, as you mentioned. Do you feel like maybe if you got around Divers a little bit easier, you could have potentially run down Paulson, or did he have just too much speed here tonight?
He had too much speed. He was definitely just chilling up there. He had such a great lead that he probably was just saving the tires. And if I really thought I'd get around the 57 pretty easy, because I was passing everybody else pretty easy. I didn't know that everybody was I didn't know that he was. I don't know. I didn't think he had as good a tires as I thought he did, and I guess he did. But definitely would have just sat in second. Would have tried hard. I had four tires. Derek had two, but I don't think it would have been enough. He was way too fast tonight. Again, all the MFRD cars were fast tonight. Had a couple mistakes on pit road, or we could have had, we could have swept the podium or swept the top four.
Well, either way, it's good to see you finally up here in the podium after kind of a rocky start to the season here, and maybe jumpstart the season a little bit and get you up here in the podium a little bit more. But for the time being, celebrate the third place here tonight. But before we let you go, anybody you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Michael Falk, MF Racing Designs. Great paint on this number one Ford Mustang, and glad to bring it home in third and show it off. I'd like to thank you guys coming, broadcasting every week. I'd like to thank Tim for putting it on every week, and it's fun. I know I have had my issues, and I paid the price tonight, but hey, paid the price. Maybe I start in the pack more often. I don't know, but it definitely worked out right there to finish third. So maybe that was just a little jump start.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, or maybe just gotta anger you a little bit before the race to make you drive in the field.
Yeah.
Well, congrats again on the third. We'll let you go celebrate with the team, and maybe we'll talk to you again next week.
All right. Hope to see you guys later.
That is your third place finish here tonight, the one of Ty Marasco. Second place here tonight is going to be the 57 of Joshua Divers.
Hey, Josh, give me a call in the booth. You copy?
Yeah, man, I got you.
Hey, another great week here. Getting yourself, a second place here tonight. Had a little trouble there with the number one at the end. He was able to get around you, and you were able to fight back and grab it back. Did you have anything for that number 16 up there, though? As it seems like he was pretty quick here tonight.
I don't know if I had anything for him. I used it all up trying to get to where I was and holding that number one off, really. I had to use a lot to mess with that number one guy, because I thought he was going to get me. He was pretty fast, and it seemed like he fell off, and we kind of evened out tire-wise. So then it worked out, because I took a risk. I was like 8th or 9th when I pitted, and I was like, I just try to get two tires and go with it and hope for the best. And I come out, and I seen I was third, and I went for second, and then that was it, man. I was happy with it. I wanted to run down Derek up there, but I just don't think I just had the tire left. But I think I had the speed, but I just don't think I had the tires left.
In any case, I mean, you walk away second place finish. Another good finish for the season. The points are starting to add up, and I'm sure your average is going to climb higher through the field. As Paulson's actually the one that was in the lead, so he was in the best place possible to keep maintain that lead. But everybody else doing fairly well tonight. It gives you a better chance of closing down that points gap just a little bit here each and every week. Plenty of weeks remaining here throughout the season, but. From CRN and everybody out there, congratulations on your second place finish, and I give you a little bit of time out for your time for any shouts they may have.
Yeah, man, I'd like to thank my team, Chaos Motorsports. Thank you guys for broadcasting it. Then I'd like to thank Masson Kane Warehousing, Edco Weldon, MAP Performance, HD5, Kenny Moen, Circle City Raceway, Norton Transport, Sim Coaches, Cutscene, Keep Digging, all them guys, man, and it was just a blast to come out here. The race was real fun. Two weeks in a row, got a second place. I had a couple weeks before where I just didn't finish as good. So looking forward to it. Hopefully we can keep doing better and keep finishing top threes and maybe win one.
Yeah, sounds like a plan, man. Keep up them good runs, and we'll see you next week. But we'll let you get out of here and go celebrate with your friends and family.
All right, man. Thank you.
That is your second place finish here tonight, the 57 of Joshua Divers. First place here is going to be the 16 of Derek Paulson. And Derek, you grab your second win on the season. You came in here as the points leader. And I mean, other than Joshua Divers coming in there in second place, I mean, are you trying to stretch out and just win this thing by the halfway point at this point?
I got lucky tonight. Three of my teammates all had troubles. Two guys decided to speed, and the other guy forgot to take tires on one or left sides on one pit stop, which actually benefited him. So that worked out pretty decent. But I think I got fairly lucky. MFRD as a team usually does fairly well at Texas. This does fairly well for me at Texas. So I'll take it. I'm happy.
Yeah, Ty said it wasn't by design that he took those two tires, but it kind of worked out nice. And he put that in the bank for next time if you need it. But he didn't need it here tonight. He definitely got some help. I mean, obviously, Dalton had his issues on pit road. Len McNeese was another one that had some issues and was at the back of the pack. So that the points lead should grow pretty much exponentially here for the season so far that you've had. I mean, you've had 2 wins on the season, which is great, coming through the first 7 races. But of the 6 races you showed up to so far, 6 for 6 now in the top 5. So, I mean, is there a track that you're not looking forward to at this point?
I'd have to look at the schedule.
Short answer, no. Okay, gotcha.
I didn't think tonight would go as good. Practice. The cars seem awfully tight, and granted, it stayed fairly tight through the whole race, but I adapted fairly well once the green flag waved, and I just took my time. I let Brian get out there, and I let a couple other guys pass me, and I'm like, there'll be a time where it'll kick in for me, and some of those long runs, I wish we would have kept those long runs going, because I think that suits me. So when those cautions came out, I was a little behind the 8 ball there. But all in all, I got lucky and took home the win.
Well, it certainly worked out, and whether you had help or not, you were definitely one of the fastest cars up there. And I think a podium for sure was in the cards, but I'm sure you're not going to complain about this win here tonight. But before we let you go, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Oh, I got to thank Gold Line Guardians, Hilton Crafts and Designs, Fort Worth Screen Printing. I got to thank my fellow admins, Tim Lee especially, helping get this league up and going. Got to thank the drivers. Again, we had over 30 cars again tonight. A lot of people have the same pace, and I think we only had 4 cautions in 120 laps or something like that. Another good run by everybody. I mean, we've been really happy how the season has gone with how people race each other and everything. I got to thank you guys up in the booth again. Like I said, I always enjoy watching you guys. Not only in our league but in other leagues as well. And I got to thank the team FFRD, and I got to thank Michael Falk Racing Designs. There, I think I got all my shout-outs.
Yeah, I mean, you keep winning it, you'll have this down pat.
You got some.
You'll have this down pat in no time.
Well, I was going to say, I do have to look at who the sponsors are, because I always forget, so I have to bring it up. And then I don't know if you realize this at the beginning of the season. I don't race with my glasses on because I'm in VR, but when I take the VR off and I try to read the sponsors, I had a heck of a time reading them, but now I got them down fairly good now.
Good. Little muscle memory for the brain. Well, you keep getting up here on the podium and keep grabbing these wins. It's gonna flow. It's gonna be like clockwork. But congratulations again on the win. We'll let you go celebrate with the team, and maybe we'll see you again at Kentucky.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
That is your winner here tonight, the 16 of Derek Paulson. Another good run for the drivers here at VVR, and took a couple cautions here, just some bumping and banging, some elbows out here a little bit in race number 7, but ended up being a really good finish. And the pit road penalties, pits. I mean, it's we can't say it enough how much you can lose or gain on pit road, and some of the guys here tonight really suffering due to penalties.
Yeah, we've preached on it before, about, a lot of people are like, hey, did you get practicing? Yeah, I did such and such this time for a per lap. And a lot of times it'd be like, I be honest, if I was a teammate, I'd be like, hey, where's your braking marker for coming into pits? And stuff like that. So, and like, when are you turning down? Things like that, like, can really gain you some time on track. And if you don't hit, and like, I know these drivers are going all out, because getting a speeding entry is that's somebody maybe just missed their pit marker, or they got too much brake and locked it up, and when you lock up you slide, so it doesn't slow you down any faster, that's for sure. So there's just little mistakes like that, and that's things that always, as a driver, you can always practice on is pit entry, and not every track's the same, but either way, great show here tonight. Just a kind of quick rundown here of all the drivers, because there's plenty of them, but Derek Paulson, obviously your winner, with Joshua Divers and Ty Marasco for your top 3, and Cade Green, Gordon Larson, Joseph Grijalva with an amazing comeback after that Texas-sized net code, and then Tim Williams in 7th, Todd Merkel, Ryan Allen, Michael Pratt, Craig Learman, Tyler Hilton, Tim Lee, Brandon Meir, Mike Rideout, Todd Poston, Eric Blount, Chris Moreland for your top 18. And then back to the rest of the field, you have Stephen Lauder, Ray Courtney, John Garrett, Dalton Kilroe, Brian Dees, Mike Hasties, Len McNeese, Chris Schuler, Robert Smith, Mike Taylor, the Magic Man Hemi, Ross Hancock, Douglas Johnson, Hilton Young, Ray Radford, Frank Hughes, and Michael Eden. So just a shout out to every single driver that comes out, and to keep coming, keep coming out every week. You're going to keep learning. You just practice laps around tracks that maybe you don't know very well, but this is the place to be. You guys have a great set of drivers out there, and I have a fantastic time up here in the booth with Carl, just watching everybody out on the track.
Absolutely, it was a blast once again. As again, this was only race number 7 of 22. We have got a long way to go here, and not even a third of the way through the schedule. But next week is going to take us to Kentucky before we head to the aforementioned Dover, as we talked about. The track that might be on the bucket list here, and maybe able to get a chance to go to it. But Kansas is going to be race number 10. We head to Michigan and then Charlotte to complete the first half of this schedule. But I mean, it's been a lot of domination by the MFRD team. Certainly, some guys are going to be scratching their heads trying to figure out what we need to do to get some speed and catch up with these guys. Joshua Divers sneaking in there now, back-to-back top 2. So we'll see if he can kind of ride that hot streak and maybe hang on to the coattails of the likes of Derek Paulson at the top. But That is going to do it for us over here in the CRN booth. It's been a blast. Thank again to the sponsors here in the series, Goldline Guardians, Fort Worth Screen Printing, and Hilton Crafts and Designs. Thank you to Tim Lee for putting on this great series here over at VVR. But for myself and Jimmy at Texas, we'll see you at the track.
Peace.